Ensworth Tigers. The starting lineups first with White Creek Cobras, number 2, Anthony Elwin. Number 4, Eric Haley. Number 12, Eric Thomas. Number 24, EJ Nesbitt. And number 32, Kevin Wiggins. For the Ensworth Tigers, number 2, Rocky Carr. Number 4, Nick Tyson. Number 5, Tony Gaines. Number 15, Parker Wainwright. And number 32, Malik Diaz. Now, with everybody would stand and remove your caps, face the flag. We celebrate America with the national anthem.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ensworth High School. Nate Stein here alongside Dean Rolski. And we're bringing you some basketball this time. Football season's over. We're officially in the gym where the Ensworth Tigers tonight will try to stay perfect against the White Creek Cobras. The Tigers come in with a 5-0 record, ranked number 7 in Division II AA, number 22 in the state of Tennessee. White Creek off to a rocky start this season, just 1-7 on the year. And they've been struggling on a 4-game losing streak so far.
Yeah, they've struggled as of recently, losing their last 5. Now, 4 out of those 5 have been single-digit losses, so they've been competitive in the games that they have lost. But Ensworth tonight will look to continue their dominant success so far this year.
Yeah, we'll see if Ensworth will let them stay close. But Ensworth has a plus 32 offensive rating through 5 games this season. They've been dominant in all phases of the game. And it's been that man right there, Malik Diaz, the 3-star power forward, number 5 ranked recruit in the state of Tennessee. He's off the mark on the first one. Hellwig bringing it the other way for the Cobras. Gets trapped in the corner, dishes it inside. Count the bucket with the foul. Oh, no, they're going to say he walked with it. That was the senior E.J. Nesbitt trying to work his way into the lane, able to finish, but after the whistle, and no dice on that effort.
Tigers had some nice ball movement on their first drive. Diaz got an open look, just little early game miss there for him, but he draws the foul, get a couple free throws here.
And we're going to see a heavy dose of that tonight. The 6'8 Diaz committed to Vanderbilt, going to be playing SEC ball next winter. As he goes to the line and knocks down his first attempt. The Tigers get on the scoreboard just about 40 seconds into this one, and we expect them to do that a lot. This is a team that's already scored 80 and 100 points on the season. It was a season-opening win. They scored 102 points and just gave up 26. Those are numbers you do not see at the high school level very often.
And to your point, through these first 5 games, they're averaging 81 points per game, so they really like to shoot the basketball. As a nice 3 there.
Another senior, Eric Thomas. This is an experienced Cobras team, starting 4 seniors and a freshman, the lone freshman being Kevin Wiggins, as Wainwright able to put that one in. The floater from the baseline goes. Wainwright picks up Hellwig just across midcourt. Hellwig driving into the lane, and draws the contact, gets the whistle. They're going to say before the shot, though, so it'll be a baseline out of bounds for the Cobras.
And the Tigers like to go up the floor quickly in transition, try and beat the defense before they can get set. That's been a key to their success by scoring a lot of points here.
Cobras offense will run through this man, Anthony Hellwig. Drives left, kicks it back to Haley. Haley, a deep three off the glass and long. Wainwright comes down with it, and once again, the Tigers off to the races right away. Dia's going to try a corner three, and he drills this one.
Well, Dia, it may be deceiving by his size, but he can really knock down the ball from beyond the arc.
A modern big man in every sense of the word. He can handle, he can shoot, but he's not afraid to get down low as he picks up a defensive rebound there. And here comes the sniper, Devaki Gar, the other way. Back to Dia. Swung out. Hike was going to try a three, and he nails that one.
Hike's a player who's coming off a 22-point game last time out. Really, really strong sophomore who's going to look to really come out of his shell this year.
It's Hellwig on the far side, swings it up top to Haley. Two-headed monster on the perimeter. Now Thomas with it. Right back to Hellwig. Wainwright picks him up way beyond the arc. Gets swung around to the senior Nesbitt.
Good defense here from the Tigers, not allowing Whites Creek any sort of open space to dribble into. Now they'll go for the pick here.
Hellwig kicks it back out to Thomas once again. And a deep three is going to be short. Dia picks up his second rebound of the contest.
And look at them going quickly. This is what I'm talking about. Hike goes inside and gets the bucket. Really strong start to the game for him.
All gas, no brakes for the Tigers. They like to push the pace off a missed shot, off a made shot. It makes no difference to them. They're a team that, as we mentioned a couple times, is going to look to score a lot of points, averaging 80 a game. Working inside is Nesbitt. He's got Hike.
Nice move inside. Unlucky with the roll.
Gaines takes the rebound, and once again, Tigers off to the races. Wainwright inside, lays it in with the soft touch. And Coach Crutcher for the Cobras is going to take a timeout here with his team trailing early 14-3. Just a few minutes into this one. The Tigers starting strong. It's what we've seen from them all season long, and it shows you this 5-0 start. Probably not a fluke.
No, the Tigers playing really well defensively, not allowing the Cobras any sort of offensive rebounds or second chance. And the Tigers have just been knocking down their shots. I mean, they're shooting really well from beyond the arc as well.
Yeah, perfect. 2 for 2 from beyond the arc so far. Everything else has been off the fast break, though. And even that Dia 3 was on the breakout. He just filled some empty space in the corner. And Gar and Dia are going to wait at midcourt for Hellwig. Kind of a pseudo press here out of the timeout. Quick timeout for both sides. Obviously, Coach Pearson had not a lot to say after a hot start. Team already up by 9, 3 minutes plus into this one. Hellwig looking for some space. Dribble handoff, gets it to Thomas. Right back to Hellwig in the corner. Garza in his face. And Hellwig probing, but just nowhere to go. Good job by Devaki Gar to stay right in front of him. Forces a turnover. Wainwright's able to pick it off. And once again, the Tigers pushing the pace into the corner. Hike thought about it. Good pump fake. Drives in, avoids the contact, and lays it in soft off the glass.
Playing really smooth. Fakes the shot, cuts inside. And because he knocked down that early three, they have to guard the perimeter against Hike. So he's able to cut inside.
Hellwig trying to drive in. I think Gaines got a piece of that one. He's going to come away with the rebound as well. Ahead to Dia, all alone, down low. He throws it down.
This Tigers offense just playing too quickly for Whites Creek to get back and really have a strong defense.
Give a lot of credit to Malik Dia on there. Felt the breakout coming, ran the floor well, beat everybody down there, and found himself all alone in a super dangerous area for the 6'8" power forward. But the answer by Eric Thomas through some contact, throws up a wild shot that finds its way home. They're going to count that bucket, and a three-point play opportunity coming for the senior.
Some fresh Tigers coming into the game. Mason Curtis, DeJuan Sharp, and Jaden Maxwell coming in for Nick Hike, Malik Dia, and Parker Wainwright.
On the other side, we got Camonte Daly coming in. We have Devin Hooten coming in, as well as Darius Webb. Daly, another freshman. Webb, another senior for this team. Team with a lot of seniors. They like to play their experienced guys, but you'll see a handful of freshmen get some significant playing time. We saw Kevin Wiggins get the start, and obviously Camonte Daly coming in as well, first-year player. Sharp will take over ball handling duties, swings it around to Maxwell. Maxwell probing in, lost it for a second. Ball's still loose. That's going to go out of bounds. Last touch is off of the freshman Wiggins. It hit him in the knee. And a lucky break for the Tigers. Maxwell found himself up in the air with nowhere to go with that one and ended up just kind of lobbing it into the middle of the defense. The Tigers lucky to continue this possession, up by 12.
Early on in the year, it's really important to see if your team has a lot of depth. And so when you bring these players in, these young players, you want them to get off to a good start so they can carry that momentum into the stronger part of the year.
Now a little bit of life for the Cobras as they work it inside, and Webb gets the finish down low. That was sparked by the block on Mason Curtis down low. He thought he was all alone, but a better defensive recovery from the Cobras as Gaines now works inside, throws up a wild shot. That won't go. Daly comes away with it, throws it ahead. The bunny won't go, and then a huge block by Tony Gaines. He's going to try to take it himself, gets past the defense, drives in, avoids the contact, and a smooth finish with the left. Tony Gaines doing it all.
Going coast to coast there. Great athleticism to get a hand up, and then great balance to stay in bounds on the near sideline, and then finishing off the play with a nice layup. And that ball was just on its way down, so they're going to call Curtis for goaltending.
And that ball really never had a chance at going in either. I understand where Curtis wants to get the block there, but you have to have a little bit of spatial awareness on the floor and know that you can just reach up and pick that one off with a rebound.
Well, I think when Dia's out of the game, it's safe to say that's when the Cobras are going to have to take advantage of getting the rebounds off the glass, even on the offensive side of the ball, maybe getting a second chance here and there.
Yeah, until Curtis proves himself as a threat down low, the Cobras are going to try to feast. Dia's fouled on the entry pass. It's Webb who initiates the contact. So Tiger ball down low. Sharp will be the one to inbound it. First, we're going to get a substitution. Nesbitt returning to action for the Cobras, and the freshman Kevin Wiggins will get a breather here.
Sharp's going to inbound it. Open look for Zayden Moore, and he knocks it down.
Pretty simple screen. Diaz sealed his man off, and no switch, nobody fighting through the screen. Maxwell had all day, or Moore had all day to knock that one down.
Nice hands there by DeJuan Sharp, and then he was sort of taken down as he was trying to get it up to Dia for the fast break.
And Sharp, not one to shy away from contact. We saw that all football season at the running back positions. He probably didn't feel that much. Sharp gets it across midcourt. Maxwell going to try a three this time. No good. Long rebounds picked up by Haley. Haley trying to push the pace, get the Cobras offense initiated. Swings it outside. It's Hooten. That one's picked off by Sharp momentarily, then recovered by Hooten. They're going to push it outside, but Mason Curtis with the length to swat that one away from Camonte Daly. Pretty significant size advantage there for Curtis, and Daly thought he had enough space to get that shot off, but the 6'4" frame of Curtis reaching up and jumping to add a little bit to it, it will allow the Tigers to recover on defense. And right away they force a turnover. Daly couldn't take the handle, but they're going to give it right back. Moore loses it. Dia going against Daly. Tell you what, Daly has no fear going into the size that the Tigers possess. It's the two biggest guys on the floor that he keeps trying to challenge in Mason Curtis and Malik Dia. 6'4" and 6'8" versus about 5'6", 5'7". Not a great math equation there.
Tigers have been really strong defensively in this first quarter. 3 blocks, 2 turnovers, really not allowing the Cobras any open looks to this point. And then when they create those turnovers, like we've talked about, getting down the court quickly and getting an open look.
Gar thought about a deep three, dribbles out of it, now working inside. Dia once again, the up and under. And we talked about the athleticism of Malik Dia, the modern big man. It's not all a power game once he gets down low. He has that in his bag, but you could see there, able to adjust midair, go up and under for a beautiful finish.
Hellwig driving, and I believe that may be his second travel call of the game.
Yeah, he saw it on the very first possession of the game. He's trying to work inside, and his legs just get a little bit ahead of what he sees the defense doing as Gar comes off the quick screen and drills it. Devaki Gar has unlimited range, so a corner three is just like a layup for him. 28-10 now. The Tigers with a commanding lead early on. Dia affected that shot. Wainwright gets the rebound. Gar once again with 45 seconds on the clock, pushes it ahead to Gordon. Gordon right back out to Gar. Another step back three, same spot, same result. We've seen some games like this from Devaki Gar in the past. Last year, he had a 38-point game, mostly on three-pointers, and he's showing that he still has that in his bag. As Haley trying to respond, can't get it, ball still loose, then poked away. Wainwright gets his hand in there. Tigers with plenty of time. Wainwright trying to take on three defenders, able to recover out to Gordon. Gar again. That one too strong. Ball still loose. Wainwright finds it underneath, goes up, lays it in.
Well, I think that miss may have been their first miss from downtown so far this game. They are hot, this Tiger team. As that's the end of the first quarter. They lead 33-10, fully deserved. Been dominant defensively, in transition, and offensively.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot else you can say. This Tigers team is showing why they're 5-0 with the plus 32 offensive rating. And so far, they're too much for the Cobras to handle. Anthony Helwig didn't even want to risk taking a shot there at the end for fear of turning it over and giving the Tigers one more chance. Dribbled out the clock at the end of the first quarter. That is not something that you see very often. Usually you'll see someone just throw up some sort of prayer, some sort of Hail Mary to try to get some free points. But the Tigers absolutely dominant. They finished that quarter on, I believe, a 12 or 13-0 run. Vakigar leading the charge. A couple three-pointers there late. Dia working inside. He's got 4 points and 3 rebounds so far with a block for good measure. Curtis with a block was main counting stats. And then Nick Hike and Parker Wainwright getting in on the action as well, both inside and out. We've seen Hike knock down a 3, then use that to his advantage against the defense, forcing them to do a hard closeout.
Yeah, it felt like it was Hike and Dia early on, and then we saw Gar really take over late on in that first quarter, so just showing the options that the Tigers have.
Cobra ball to start the second quarter. Helwig trying to work, gets the switch to work against Wainwright, and Wainwright's going to be whistled for the foul down low as Helwig drove into the lane, and he'll get 2 shots coming up. Couple subs. Tony Gaines back into the game for the Tigers, and Eric Thomas returning to action for the Cobras. Wainwright will come out, as will Darius Webb. The last foul is actually going to be called on the floor, so no shots coming, but Helwig still trying to work his way into the lane, and he draws another foul. This time it's going to be against Gar. That'll be Gar's first. Wainwright just came out of the game with 3 fouls, so that may be the last we see of him, at least for this half, probably into the third quarter.
Yeah, no reason to keep him out there in a game like this. Don't want him to get into any foul trouble, especially when they have the options that they do on the bench.
Cobras get it in to Helwig once again. Helwig working against Gar. Picks up a screen now. Dia switched on him. We'll see what Helwig thinks of this matchup. He passes out of it. Swung all the way around. It's Haley. In the corner, back up top, Nesbitt. Nesbitt driving in, lays it in. Gar was there to try to take a charge, but good body control by Nesbitt to avoid any contact.
Nice steal there from Helwig, as again they'll try and move quickly. And a nice block. Ooh. They're going to say hit the glass before Gaines got a hand to it. I'm not sure about that one.
That's not right. It could have argued that it was on its way down because it might have been. It was close, but it certainly didn't hit the glass before Gaines got a hand on that. The Cobras trying to claw back into this one, 4-0 to start the second quarter. 33-14 overall. Gaines working inside, and he gets those 2 points right back. Tigers getting everything they want on offense, able to work into tight spaces down low and make them pay with kickouts. Helwig working against Gar. Tries to spin into the lane, kicked it out. Corner 3 from Thomas will rattle its way home. So the Cobras finding a little bit of rhythm on offense, something they weren't able to do in the first 8 minutes. Hike now has it. Working inside, pulls up short, no good. Gaines battling for the rebound, gets it, and he's fouled on the pass. It'll be Tiger ball down low. That's something Tony Gaines does so well. He's not the biggest guy on the court, just 6'2", but he will battle down low and scrap like a center.
I feel like you could say that about a lot of the Tigers, if not the team in general. You know, it's not the biggest team in the world, but they will get in the paint and fight for the ball as Gaines gets it back. Sharp open look. Just can't get it to go, and another offensive rebound from Gaines.
3 offensive rebounds by Tony Gaines this possession. He battles to keep that ball out of harm's way as well. Kicks it out to Dia, long 2, his foot's on the line. That won't go, and now Hellwig comes down with that rebound. Hellwig looking to slow things up before getting across half court. Gar picks him up there. Gar battles around the screen, and Gar's going to get whistled for the foul. That's going to be on the floor before the shot. That's foul number 2 on Gar.
Those are too quickly, so I could see him coming out right here, and he will.
Yeah, right away walking over to the bench. He knew he was going to be coming out after that one. And you can see the frustration on Gar's face. He's not sure what to do to defend Hellwig, because Hellwig's succeeding pretty much across the board at initiating contact and drawing fouls whenever he gets anywhere close to the rim.
Well, the Tigers had a really hot start in the first quarter, slowed down just a little bit with just 1 basket here this quarter. Nice steal from DeJuan Sharp. That's his 2nd or 3rd. Gains off balance, and Dia throws it down, putting it back.
You could see Dia trailing that whole time. I was wondering if Sharp was going to kick it back to him. Went to Gaines instead, and Gaines went off the glass, but a good response. Nesbitt working inside. 37-19 now the score, 5:40 left to play in the first half. Sharp inside to Gaines, back out. Moore off the mark. Dia gets the offensive board, still working down low. Good strong move, but that one's not going to go, and Nesbitt comes away with it. The Cobras now starting to push the pace. Nesbitt working inside, goes in, finishes through some contact, no whistle. It was Jaden Maxwell and Tony Gaines who kind of sandwiched Nesbitt there down low. Good finish.
Strong play. Maybe that gives the Cobras a little bit of momentum to try and climb back into this one. It's already a tall mountain to climb.
Maxwell swings it across to Moore. Moore looking inside, has Gaines. No look pass, and Malik Dia able to finish through a couple defenders.
Well, I was about to say, this is probably the most we've seen the Tigers struggle so far in this one, as they got off to a tremendous start in the first quarter. But it only takes 1 nice play like that to get them right back into it.
Hellwig kicks it back to Nesbitt. Swings around to Haley. Haley tries a deep 3 off the mark. Hellwig all alone in the corner to gather the rebound. Entry pass into Wiggins will go. And a quick timeout by Coach Bradley Pearson, the first-year head coach for the Tigers, after being an assistant on the bench to Ricky Bowers over the past few seasons. And Pearson's coaching tenure as the #1 man off to a fantastic start, 5-0 with a 16-point lead in his 6th game.
Yeah, really good start for him, and hopefully a great future to come from him. Really happy for him to get the job, and he's making the most of it so far.
He's got a great squad around him to do so. A lot of senior leadership out of Malik Dia and Parker Wainwright and Tony Gaines, and then a strong younger core, a handful of juniors and a bunch of sophomores as you look down this roster. The Tigers out of the timeout quickly now. Here come the Cobras, a little bit more energy through this second quarter, outscoring the Tigers 13-6 so far. Just about the midway point of the second quarter. Sharp gets it across half court.
Getting our first look at Dylan Curtis, who just got the ball. There's that one. We'll stick with the Tigers. The Sharp looked inside for Curtis.
Curtis, another deep threat for this Tigers team, as if they didn't have enough already. Someone who can shoot from pretty much anywhere on the floor and isn't afraid to do so. Moore gets it on the inbound. Sharp kicks it out. Curtis gonna fire a 3. That one too strong. Gaines goes up, battles. Sharp ends up with it, but lands on the sideline. Can't get it to stay in.
Well, we've talked about that physicality, and there was a prime example of 2 not of the biggest guys, and both going up for it and almost coming down with it.
Little defensive miscommunication. Curtis late on the rotation over to Haley, and he makes him pay, drills a 3.
Well, Haley was practicing that a lot in warm-ups from that sort of area, so it shouldn't really come as a huge surprise that he's able to knock down the open look.
Sharp swings it around to Curtis. Back to Sharp. He drives inside, draws some contact. They're going to say offensive foul, though. Just a little bit of warding with that offhand.
So the Cobras certainly with some momentum, and it looks like Tigers are going to bring Gar back into the game, who's in a little bit of foul trouble early on with 2 fouls. But they almost need him to kind of settle this game down.
I'll be interested to see who he guards. It looks like they're going to put him on Haley to avoid him picking up any more fouls on Hellwig. We're also getting our first look at Sean Johnson coming into the game for the Tigers. Johnson guarding Nesbitt here.
There was a nice cut inside by Thomas, but Nesbitt just was turned the wrong way, so he couldn't see the pass.
And Nesbitt able to get a finish there, but a timeout called by Jeremiah Crutcher before he could get into the lane. Obviously didn't like what he was seeing offensively and needed to talk things over, maybe save the Tigers a couple points there.
I think this is also a good spot for the Tigers here, as they need to fix what's happening on defenses. You know, they got beat in transition once or twice now, and then they've just been beat inside. A couple nice plays made by the Whites Creek big men have gotten them points.
Yeah, that's something where the Tigers are expecting Mason Curtis to step up in a big way when Malik Diaz not on the floor. They're going to have them both out here now. One of the bigger lineups we've seen from the Tigers with the trio of Curtis, Johnson, and Diaz all out there, but obviously balanced out, having the 5'9 Sharp and the 5'11 Gar out there as well. Still size advantage to the Tigers whenever Diaz is on the floor as Haley gets it inbound. Hellwig up high, guarded by Sharp. And Hellwig directing traffic from the logo. Clock winding down, inside 3.5 to play in the first half. And a little bit of a 2-3 zone here for the Tigers. And a deep three knocked down by Eric Thomas. That's how you beat a zone. You got to be able to shoot the ball. Gar now going to try to duel with another deep three, and that one's good. Devaki Gar, we've talked about how he's got unlimited range, showing it off a little bit there. That's his third 3 in 4 attempts on the evening. Hellwig gets it over to Nesbitt. Nesbitt looking for somewhere to go. Dia guarding him all the way out beyond the 3-point line. Back to Hellwig. Sharp playing him tight.
Well, the Tigers tried the zone for one possession. Whites Creek knocked down to 3, so they're right back to the man-on-man.
Now Nesbitt once again out behind the 3-point line. Dia guarding him there. Johnson switched onto him and got a hand in his face. Good defense. Dia comes down with the board. Here comes Gar. Haley's going to pick him up. Gar drives in, pull-up jumper, and he drills that one too. An unbelievable move to be able to stop his momentum, jump straight up, and knock that shot down. Gar not afraid to go inside the arc either.
Well, the Tigers were struggling, and as soon as he came back into the game, they sort of reasserted their command, and this one should be a foul, and there is for Malik Dia.
They're going to get 2 shots too, because Dia was able to at least grab the ball and throw up something resembling a shot. He'll go to the line to shoot a pair, 2 for 2 on the night. We saw him go to the line first possession of the game. And it's been quiet ever since. Not a lot of shooting fouls, 16 fouls going each way. That's number 2 on the night against E.J. Nesbitt. As Dia drills that one, and Tony Gaines and Nick Hike will come back in. DeJuan Sharp and Mason Curtis will get a breather. We also have Camonte Daly checking back in for the Cobras. He's going to replace Aaron Haley. So a freshman for senior swap there. And Dia goes 1 of 2, and Wiggins able to pull that one down. Hellwig looking for somewhere to go. Gaines deters him. Over to Daly. Now Daly has it up top. A lot of drive and kick from the Cobras this possession. Now Hellwig's going to back things up to the logo and try to find some space. Kicked out. Gar got a hand on that one, and Gar chasing that ball down, going to pick up his 3rd foul, and that puts the Tigers into the bonus, so a 1-and-1 coming for Eric Thomas.
Well, he got the hand to it, and he saw it was just up there 50-50, put in a hand. He was just late, and that's a big foul for him. Like you said, number 3, so got to be careful now.
I was actually going to say that's number 2 on Gar as we look up at the scoreboard, so maybe a scoring error earlier on. The Tigers got to be pleased with that only being his 2nd, obviously, as Thomas knocks down his 1st attempt. DeJuan Sharp getting ready to check back into the game.
Looks like maybe for Devaki Gar.
Yeah, he will be. No surprise there. 1.5 minutes left in the first half, essentially giving Gar an extended halftime break here. We'll see if the Tigers offense can keep up the same energy and intensity that they've had, something that they struggle to do when Gar comes off the floor. Thomas knocks down the 2nd.
We'll go with the full court pressure here. As like you said, you know, no Devaki Gar, the ball handler, but nice moves by the Tigers to really escape that initial pressure.
Good quick passes as Hike gets it to Sharp. across midcourt. Inside Gaines, back out. Hike's gonna try another three. That one's too strong. Johnson battling for the rebound, but Nesbitt comes away with it. Nesbitt thought about going full court, but just dragged his pivot foot there. Couldn't stop his momentum quick enough to dish that one off to Hellwig. So the Tigers catch a little bit of a break. Cam Gordon checking back into the game. Johnson will get a breather. Gaines gets it into Hike. Another pressure situation for the Cobras, but the Tigers seem to have no issue breaking it. Dia pulls up for a three. That one's short, and Gaines can't pull down the rebound. Had it in his hand, had it tipped away, last touch.
Well, Dia was wide open there. You almost wonder, because of his size, could he have just drove in there for an easy two?
You think he probably could have. Obviously easy to save from up here, and now we'll see Dia checking out of the game as Zayden Moore checks back in. So a small lineup for the Tigers. You're really looking at Tony Gaines playing the nominal center role with this line, with this five on the floor.
And just a cheap foul given up there from Zayden Moore. No real reason to give up that foul, as he had a decent position on Nesbitt.
And Nesbitt wasn't quite ready to turn the corner, but they're going to send Nesbitt to the line to shoot a 1-and-1 regardless.
And this would be a chance where you would maybe like Malik D on the floor if he missed that free throw, but he knocks it down, so.
Yeah, drills the first to earn himself number 2. They're going to drop Wiggins all the way back, the Cobras are, to avoid any sort of fast break opportunity. But well, Nesbitt's going to knock that one down regardless.
And the Cobras have had a secretly really strong second quarter here. Almost cut the lead in half, I want to say, close to that.
Yeah, they have. They were trailing by 23 after 1, now only down by 12. Gaines pulls up, can't get it to go. Nesbitt with another rebound, 35 seconds on the clock in the first half. Daly going to slow things down. Now looking inside, has Wiggins wide open all alone. And he's able to knock that one down. The clock continues to run. Just a 10-point game now.
Tigers get the ball over half court with plenty of time. Now you wonder if they may just hold it to take the last shot here, and I think they will.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing as Sharp throws it up for Gaines. Gordon into the corner, Hike, a floater, goes inside 5 seconds. Gaines stole it away, but that will end the first half, I believe. We'll see if they give him one more inbound. They won't. They're going to call that at the end of the second quarter. So Gaines does a good job to not allow the Cobras to get some sort of shot off. It would have been a mid-court heave regardless. But a stumbling second quarter for the Tigers after a dominant first frame brings us to halftime with the score 47-35 in favor of Ensworth. We're going to take a quick break for halftime, but stick with us here on Ensworth Live. Welcome back to Ensworth High School. Nate Stein alongside Dean Rolski. You're watching Ensworth Live. It was a dominant first quarter followed by kind of a letdown, if to be completely honest, in the second quarter. Just 14 points in the second frame for the Tigers compared to 33 in the first, and a 25-point effort in the second quarter for the Cobras as they came alive after, frankly, just not being able to get anything going at all in the first 8 minutes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Tigers come out of the into the second half. You know, Coach Pearson, he hasn't had to coach in a lot of close games, at least this close so far in his short head coaching career. So it'll be interesting to say what he said and how that affects the players.
Yeah, the Tigers, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, on the season coming into the night, 4 games decided by 20 points or more. You got a 40-point and a 76-point win thrown in there for good measure. And then obviously a win by just 5 against ECHS, but this one's shaping up to be tighter than maybe we expected coming into it when you look at the numbers. Tigers will get the ball out of the halftime break. Hike swings it over to Gar. Gar with 2 fouls back into the game. That's going to be the normal starting 5, or what we saw at the beginning of the day for the Tigers. Same thing for the Cobras as Dia works inside, but too strong on that fall-away effort.
Yeah, it was nice hands by Dia to maintain possession of the basketball, but just couldn't get the shot to fall.
Helwig doing what he does, getting into the teeth of the defense, drawing a foul. This time it's going to go against Tony Gaines. And Helwig will head to the line to shoot 2. Gaines picks up his second foul of the night. Nothing to worry about yet unless he gets a quick third one here early in the third quarter. Helwig able to hit on the first opportunity. This game was as much of a 20-point or 23-point advantage for the Tigers after the first frame. But the Cobras have scratched and clawed their way back, just 10 points now. As Gar's going to be picked up full court by Eric Thomas. He's able to break out of that pressure. He's going to try a step-back 3. That one no good. Rebound by Wiggins.
Yeah, especially with the way the Tigers have been playing in that second half. I don't really like that shot selection. Try and build a nice possession, maybe get an open look.
Thomas got an open look there after the defense collapsed. And now a second opportunity from Haley. Airmails it, and Dia is waiting on the other end.
Nice pass, perfectly weighted by Dia into Gaines. Easy basket. That's a nice way to settle back into the second half.
Yeah, it's helpful to see the ball go through as Gaines was able to not only get that ball cleanly, but able to lay it in cleanly. But Thomas answers right away with a quick 3.
And this is the first time it's been a single-digit lead for the Tigers, probably since the first 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah, they came out very hot, and then the Cobras have been strong ever since. Gar thought about another 3. Swings it over to Wainwright. Inside Gaines, spinning through the lane and lays it in with the left hand. And the offense going through Tony Gaines right now, not something we necessarily expected to see with some of the offensive firepower this Ensworth squad has. And Helwig able to draw another foul, this one against Nick Hike.
No, really nice move by Gaines inside to put up the shot. And especially in a game like this, go ahead early, face some adversity. As West Creek looks to get back into it, you need your seniors to step up and knock down shots, and that's exactly what Gaines is doing.
Sharp checking into the game for Gar. Looks like it may just be a quick break for Gar as he's sitting down next to Bradley Pearson. The Tigers unable to come up with that loose ball. Looked like it should have been an easy steal. Hike was able to get his hand in there, but Dia unable to corral it. Gar coming back to the scores table to check in. Next chance he gets. Helwig drives in, but can't finish. Good job by Hike not to foul there, something not a lot of players have been able to do against Helwig. And Wainwright on the other end drills the corner 3. That's more like what we saw the Tigers in the first quarter. Get out on the run quickly, even when it's not necessarily a fast break situation, treat it like one. And Wainwright all alone and makes him pay.
We saw the Tigers come out early in the second half to get some shots up, and Wainwright was by himself on the other half of the court just practicing the mechanics of shooting. And, well, it paid off.
Nesbitt hangs and hits there over Tony Gaines. It was good defense from Gaines, but a better finish from Nesbitt. And Gaines flying through the lane, and he came down awkwardly and goes to the ground. A little slow to get up, but he seems like he's all right. Limping a little bit as he gets back to his feet. We'll see if he can stay in the game. He has to shoot these free throws if he wants to play at any point the rest of the night. And you can see Gaines there speaking with the referee and nodding his head to say, yeah, I'm okay, let me shoot this. That foul goes against Kevin Wiggins. his first of the night, and Gaines leaves that try short. Gar back in for Hike.
Like you said, it was quick timeout for Gar right there. It looked like Pearson just had something to say to him, said maybe he saw something on offense or defense that Gar could take advantage and bring him right back out onto the floor.
Gaines went 0 for 2 that trip to the line. And he looks a little hobbled as a banked-in 3 from E.J. Nesbitt will bring this back to a 9-point contest. Dia gonna try his own step-back 3. That one's good. Malik Dia showing off a little bit of range past the high school line.
Well, he saw one big man knock down a 3 on the other side and had to do it himself. And like you said, maybe a little bit deeper than Nesbitt's 3.
Once again, Hellwig driving into the lane, drawing a foul. This time it's going to go against Sharp, and Hellwig will shoot 2 more free throws. Second foul of the night on Sharp. That's 3 fouls against the Tigers as a team through these first 3 minutes of action. Hellwig unable to hit his first opportunity. I think that's the first free throw we've seen him miss so far tonight. He's been solid from the line when he gets there. And Hellwig will go 1 for 2. Mason Curtis will check into the game now. Thought he might be coming in for Tony Gaines, but it looks like Pearson's going to let Gaines play through his apparent minor lower body injury, which is great that it's minor. But Wainwright will be the one coming off the floor as Coach Pearson looking to get a little bit more size out there with Mason Curtis. Curtis kicks out. Sharp, a 3. No good, just off the back rim. And Dia almost able to slap that one away from Wiggins, but Wiggins able to recover.
Nice feed by Curtis to just find Sharp on the edge of the perimeter. It's an open look, unlucky for it not to get knocked down.
Nesbitt had a little bit of space in the lane, but heard the footsteps of Dia and probably felt his shadow rising up above him, couldn't get the shot off as Curtis drives in that time and is able to finish at the rim. Good job shielding the ball away from Nesbitt once he found some space, and Jeremiah Crutcher is going to call a quick timeout here. 4.5 to play in the third quarter. Pretty even so far. These teams going back and forth. Slight advantage to the Tigers, up by 15, or up by 13.
Yeah, we saw the Tigers dominate the first. You know, really, Whites Creek really took advantage in that second quarter. Now we're starting to see it even out in the third quarter.
Yeah, Whites Creek trying to figure out if they did enough to bring this game back into striking range in the second quarter, and the Tigers trying to recreate that first quarter performance. Obviously, as they're up by 23, you always want to recreate that performance if you can. Lengthier timeouts from both coaches. This isn't something we've seen a lot of tonight. It's usually just been a quick chat, 1 or 2 points to make. But Coach Crutcher seems like he's breaking down something a little bit more intense. And the ref's going to have to call this timeout over because the coaches weren't done talking yet.
Maybe they were drawing up a play on that possession, the Cobras, to try and get back into this game.
Clearly looking for some sort of rhythm, and they're going to come out quick as Thomas sprints back to the baseline to get this ball into Hellwig. Gar picking up Hellwig. Keep an eye on that matchup. Hellwig able to draw a lot of fouls, and they're going to call an offensive foul. He initially signaled blocking foul, and that just couldn't have been right as Gar almost got put onto his backside on the ground. It's going to be the freshman Wiggins picking up his second foul of the night.
Not exactly sure how forceful that screen was, but let's just say Gar sold it, to say the least. Did a good job, and, well, he gets Ensworth the ball back.
Yeah, he certainly got blindsided, but maybe a little bit of an acting job there to get the point across. Curtis inbounds it to Moore, but Moore can't handle the pass. Haley, however, can't finish, but Hellwig is there to clean things up.
And that's one of the first times we've really seen the Tigers just give one away, and it's costly this time.
Curtis in the trap. That one tipped away. Hellwig got his foot on that one. A kick ball will keep possession with the Tigers. But an aggressive trap in the corner. As soon as Curtis got across midcourt, it was the duo of Hellwig and Haley. Now the Tigers are going to need to work to get it back across midcourt, and Curtis once again almost giving that one away. Haley had his hand right there.
Tigers really struggling. They need to really grow into this game like they were in the first quarters. They've really slowed down the tempo since that first quarter, and that's 5 seconds, and they're going to give it away.
Once again, Mason Curtis unable to get the ball in bounds, something we've seen him struggle with a little bit is his decision-making. It's why he didn't see much time as a freshman, even though he spent most of the season on the varsity roster. He kind of gets locked into one player on those side out-of-bounds plays, and it telegraphs it to the defense, and they know where exactly they need to trap as Hellwig throws up a wild shot. That won't go. Rebound still loose. Wainwright pulled it down, but is called for the travel. So some defensive intensity from the Cobras here as they'll get the ball back down 11 with 3:50 to play in the third quarter. Haley and Hellwig playing a two-man game. Gar out to guard Hellwig. Right back to Haley. He thought about a three. Hellwig once again working in the corner. He's going to try a three. That one no good. Rebound by Zayden Moore.
Well, the Tigers get away with one there. After the constant pressure from the Cobras, you almost feel like they almost deserve to knock down that three, so the Tigers get away with one.
Gaines fighting into the lane, draws the contact. He's going to go to the line to shoot two. Waiting to see who the foul is on. There are a handful of Cobra players there. They're going to call that one on E.J. Nesbitt, though, and that's 3 on Nesbitt. So a little bit of foul trouble for the Cobras now, possibly, to keep an eye on.
Yeah, that's something they really have to be careful of because they've really kept Dia quiet here since the second quarter. So if he gets into foul trouble and they have to take him out, that's where we could see Dia sort of take over in this game.
Yeah, Nesbitt doesn't have the same height that Dia does, but is certainly a big enough body to give Dia a little bit of trouble. So we'll see with Nesbitt coming off if Dia comes back into the game, and immediately Coach Pearson taps him to walk over to the scorer's table as Gaines misses the second free throw, so Dia will have to wait a little bit longer.
Well, that's Gaines struggling from the line so far today. Don't know if the injury has an impact on that.
Daly got into a little bit of trouble. Webb comes back to help him. Daly once again driving inside, whips a pass around the defender. I think he was expecting Webb to finish up that cut and end up underneath the basket. There was some space there.
Yeah, miscommunication and another chance for the Tigers to expand their lead because it feels like the Cobras had their moment early on in this third quarter to really cut that deficit that they've been facing the whole time during this game.
Tigers able to break the press a little bit more comfortably here as Gar sends it ahead. Wainwright thought about a three in the corner, kicks it out to Moore, inside Dia, and Dia count the bucket and the foul. There's not a lot they can do. We mentioned it with Nesbitt going out of the game, with Nesbitt going out of the game. They just don't have the same body, the same big body that can even cause Dia any trouble at all. They have to foul there, and a strong move by Dia to finish off the glass. And now that's foul number 3 on Kevin Wiggins as well, the next biggest body on this roster. And Dia will finish up the three-point play. Daly comes back to get this one, initiate the offense. Gar's going to pick him up at half court. Daly driving in, throws up a wild shot, and Dia is able to come down with it. Thought about going full court, looking for Wainwright or Moore. Both were streaking down the sidelines, but gets it to Gar, and then a hand-checking foul will go against Daly. Foul's on the floor, and the Tigers are getting close to being into the bonus for this third quarter.
Well, Daly was just trying to keep up with Garza there, and then when Garza cut back, he was just trying to keep Garza in front of him, and he just couldn't let him escape.
And that'll prompt Jeremiah Crutcher to bring Hellwig back into the game. Daly will get a breather. Gar catch and shoot three from the corner, and he drills it. Devaki Gar has only missed 2 attempts from deep so far. That makes him 4 of 6 on the night. And that's when he gets deadly. When he gets into one of these rhythms, he can go white hot for minutes at a time and really make a defense pay. Haley trying to get one back, gets it into Hellwig. Affected by Dia, tipped out. This one Webb, that won't go. Mason Curtis comes away with the miss.
Well, going back to that Devaki Gar 3, he created that shot for himself, saw the space on the near sideline as Dia throws one down. We've seen him do that twice now.
Yeah, speaking of creating space, Gar forced the defense to step out of the paint to respect him, and now it keeps piling on for the Cobras as Devin Hooten walks with that one and turns the ball over. The Tigers have extended this lead back up to 20 points, and it really has been a game of runs. We've seen it from both sides that first quarter. As we mentioned time and time again, a huge run for the Tigers put them up by 23. Then a massive run by the Cobras brought them right back into the game since then.
Nice move by Moore, getting it out to his sophomore classmate, Nick Hite, who gets the basket and the foul. Haven't heard his name in a while, but he's back on.
Yeah, since that first quarter, he hit a couple threes and able to drive into the paint. And what's going to go unsung about that and won't show up in the scorebook is Dia. He had position down low, and he just sealed his man off. It was Kevin Wiggins. Gave Hike a perfect lane down the baseline, able to finish that one off, and the Tigers are back up by 23. We talked about the 81 point per game number that the Tigers have started this season on. They're already at 71 with a minute and a half left to go in the third quarter, so they can easily eclipse what they've seen. We've already seen them score 100 once this season in the opening game of the year. We'll see if they have their sights set on that again, as a nice look from Haley will spring Wiggins wide open down low as he finishes with the two.
Good pressure here, but a nice pass, a nice outlet pass from Moore to get the Tigers up the court. Nice rebound by Maxwell. Fouled, certainly a foul, just can't get the bucket to go.
Yeah, Dia trying to show off a little bit of his ball handling skill as a 6'8" big man. A good job by Maxwell battling down low. Just the senior stands 5'9", and able to come down around some trees with that rebound and draw the foul. He drills the first free throw. Cam Jordan and Tony Gaines back into the game, as Dia will get a breather, as will Parker Wainwright. And we'll see Eric Thomas check back in for the Cobras and replacing Aaron Haley. Maxwell goes perfect this trip. The Tigers have seemed to have leveled things off a little bit in this third quarter.
I believe this is tied for their largest lead of the night, back to the first quarter. So yes, certainly have regained control of this game.
Gaines able to clean up the Hellwig miss. Maxwell, beautiful look inside, finds Nick Hike, a great back cut. And Maxwell was able to just fit that one in barely ahead of the defender. Now 25 points, the largest lead of the night for the Tigers. Hellwig trying to find some space on the other end. He coughs that one up. Jordan pushes it ahead. Hike goes up, lays it in with the left. 6 straight points for Nick Hike if you discount the Maxwell free throws. He's been on a little bit of a tear to finish up this third quarter.
It was a slow start for the Tigers this third quarter, but slowly they've just picked up the pace and have started putting the points on the scoreboard. And all of a sudden now, like you said, it's a 27-point game, largest lead of the night.
Hellwig, with time running out, dished it over to Webb. Webb looking inside. And at the buzzer, Darius Webb able to finish past the block attempt by Tony Gaines. So it'll be a 25-point Tiger advantage as we head to the final frame. 77-52 is your score. And a really dominant effort in the third quarter for Ensworth there. Something that we haven't seen since the first quarter, but something that we kind of expect from this team on paper. We'll get a quick break ahead of the final frame. The Tigers seem like they should have this one in hand, but we saw a pretty dominant effort from the Cobras in the second quarter after we were saying that after one. This is something that we've seen the Cobras turn around. I don't want to say they can easily do it because 25 points is nothing to scoff at, but they can certainly make things interesting. We've seen the defensive aggression. We've seen the shot-making ability from this Cobra squad. Tigers certainly can't let their guard down.
And to your point that you made earlier about this game has been a game of runs, so obviously, a 25-0 run isn't realistic, but, if they can slowly chip away at the lead, cause some late drama, the Tigers certainly haven't dealt well when there's been a little bit of pressure on them, so we'll have to wait and see.
The big thing about that third quarter, obviously the scoring's great, but Devaki Gard did not pick up another foul, so he should be on a fairly long leash, even if they do get into a little bit of trouble here in the fourth. As Hellwig lost his dribble, gets it over to Haley. Right back to Hellwig. Takes a walking start into a three, too strong. Rebound, fought for. Wiggins comes away with it and lays it in over a pair of Tiger defenders. Gar able to break the press, pushing through. Wainwright, corner three, good look, yes! Parker Wainwright extending this lead back to 26. A strong answer after the second chance point from the freshman Wiggins.
He's knocked down 2 in a row from deep now, Wainwright. He is just a pure shooter, really good form, and nothing but net on that occasion.
And a good job by Gar defending Hellwig, not giving anything up. As this time, Dia gives it up, but gets it right back as he baited Haley into a bad pass. Gaines, Wainwright again. This one too strong, but Gaines will clean it up.
Well, the Tigers had options there. That's the second possession in a row where they had a 3-on-2. Got out to Wainwright. The first time he knocked down the 3. The second time it was Gaines with an easy putback.
Hellwig picked up at midcourt once again. Dia keeps it in bounds. Fireworks. Yes! Malik Dia cocks it back, and the Tigers are leading by 30. You can almost feel the air get sucked out as he jumped for that one. It's one of those moments where you know something big's going to happen. You're just waiting to see it. And now a 5-second violation against Hellwig. Gar doing a great job of defending him, not giving him any space to dribble, let alone breathe.
And over the course of this run for the Tigers, they did, like you said, eclipse that 81-point average. So they're over that, and they'll look to increase the average.
Yeah, it's looking more and more like this Tigers team is dead set on getting to triple digits again tonight. It would be the second time this season as Hike drives in and lays it in through a few defenders. Good job by Hike showing the ball on that initial jump, bringing it down to avoid any contact and laying it in cleanly. Thomas looks to answer. Corner 3 is too short. Wiggins saved it from going out of bounds, but gives it right to Gaines. And Gaines is gonna go in, and he throws it down with 2 hands. And there was a whistle right after that. I think they're gonna call Gaines for hanging on the rim. We'll see what the discussion is at midcourt. Yeah, and they are gonna tee up Tony Gaines. A 2-handed jam and just held onto the rim for a second too long, I suppose. That's one of those rules where I understand the spirit of the rule. That doesn't mean I have to like it.
Yeah, that one hurts. I mean, I don't think it's going to mean a whole lot in the context of the game, but Ensworth was just flying high, a lot of momentum, and that can kind of just suck the air out of this game and the crowd a little bit.
It's Aaron Haley going to the line to shoot the technical attempts. He knocks down the first, and he'll go 2 for 2. So 2 shots and the ball for the Cobras after the dunk. The good part is the dunk still counts. So the Tigers, obviously it's not what you want to see. You never like getting a technical foul, especially for something like that. But to your point, in the grand scheme of the game, probably won't make too much of a difference. Hellwig now will initiate the Cobra offense. They're looking to turn a 2-point possession into something more here. Maybe start to chip away at this 32-point lead.
Tigers going back to the zone. We saw really early on in the game, only tried, I think, 1 possession. Cougars knocked down a 3, so the Tigers went away from it. Going back to it here.
That possession ended with an Aaron Haley 3. This one almost does, as that thing was most of the way down before coming out. And now Wainwright goes up, can't finish, but guess who's there to clean it up? Nick Hike.
Well, he's
living around
off
the rim tonight.
He's coming off, like I said earlier, 22-point game, and he's just in really good form at the moment. Yeah, showing no signs of slowing down.
Believe he's in double digits in the 4th quarter alone, so should be sitting right around 15 or 16 points for the night. Haley's going to try a deep 3, and he's going to drill a deep 3. 90-59 the score. We're going to get a timeout from Coach Pearson.
Well, that was a really nice few minutes of basketball, end-to-end stuff. Both teams knocking down shots. Tigers making a few more and extending that lead up to 31 now.
Seen more of what we saw in that dominant first quarter, turning everything into a fast break, missed shots, made shots, everybody getting out and running the floor. And when you're a defense and you see an offense doing that, it's tough to keep up. You don't know where the ball's going to go. The offense has a little bit better idea, so if they can just run to spots, you can really keep a defense scrambling just by putting that extra effort in. And that's what so many coaches try to tell their teams and try to establish in their style of gameplay. And then Bradley Pearson's really pulling it off with aplomb tonight.
Yeah, the Tigers have just had so many options. They haven't had to rely on anyone. You know, like I said, felt like maybe Gaines early on and maybe in the 3rd quarter a little bit. But over the course of this game, they've just had so many options to go to from beyond the arc, from inside, from mid-range, anywhere you want.
We're going to get a wholesale substitution from the Tigers here out of the timeout. It's Johnson, Moore, Sharp, Curtis. The only hanger-on is Nick Hike.
So 4 sophomores in the game for the Tigers.
Moore gets it in the corner, back down low to Curtis. Curtis takes one dribble, gives it right back to Moore. Inside Johnson, Curtis goes in, draws the foul, finishes through contact, and one opportunity for Mason Curtis.
Really nice ball movement. It was almost like a little bit of 1-2 between Moore and Curtis, and Moore just fished it inside quick to Sean Johnson, who picked out a dime into Curtis, who will bank in the free throw.
Hey, whatever works. But that last offensive possession, it was reminiscent of the triangle run by the Phil Jackson Lakers, with Johnson playing that high post position, kind of a playmaker from the free throw line. You don't see that a whole lot in today's space and pace game. So a little throwback energy there. And right out of the timeout, Devin Hooten knocks down the 3 to answer. Hike looking inside, has Johnson all alone. One dribble, power move, can't finish. Gets his own rebound, out to Sharp. He'll try a 3, too strong. Hike tips it back out. Moore has it now. Sharp in the corner, drives baseline. Back to Moore. Now the Tigers will try to reset. Or no, they won't. Mason Curtis all alone. What a find by Zayden Moore, the no-look pass. Fooled everybody.
It was a great possession from the Tigers. Sean Johnson getting his own rebound.
And just off that, Anthony Beasley, the sophomore for the Cobras. First time we've seen him tonight, he drills a 3. Hike trying to answer, that one off the money. And the rebound pulled down by Zadarian Bailey. But both teams don't want to call it emptying their benches, but showing a little bit that we haven't seen so far tonight. The duo of Zadarian Bailey and Anthony Beasley are a couple players from the Cobras we haven't quite seen. And now Coach Pearson's going to pretty much do the same. As we see Dylan Curtis, Cam Gordon, and Jaden Maxwell all checking into the game. We've seen a little bit of Curtis and Gordon, a little bit more of Maxwell, but Pearson has gone everybody so far tonight, and he even did that before this game was as taken care of as it was tonight. But regardless, we'll get a timeout from Pearson here, not happy with what he's seeing out of his bench unit. Because this game's now still a 27-point lead for the Tigers. Probably won't make a difference, but I think Coach Pearson really just looking to make a point. He's expecting a little bit more out of these backup units.
Yeah, and that's a few times in a row now where the Cobras have just knocked down some deep threes from the big men and from their front court. But again, the Tigers have just been responding in the second half, a really strong second half. You wondered, would they come out of the second half a little nervous? No, they've answered all those questions and really kept their dominance in this game.
And a very young unit out there for the Cobras. 3 freshmen, a sophomore, and then the lone senior is Darius Webb. Pearson's going to stick with his same unit. Dylan Curtis can't get the 3 to fall. That's his specialty. A really strong shooter, but maybe just some nerves being at the varsity level for the first time this season, as Gordon drives in and he's able to get the floater to fall.
And this will show that the depth that the Tigers have. You know, there was a question of whether they do, and I think they do. You know, we've seen Zayden Moore's passing has been really strong tonight. Curtis has had better nights. He will have better nights, but overall strong.
Gordon going to get whistled for the kickball there, but first we had a foul. That's going to go against Jaden Maxwell. And now Zayden Moore is going to check back into the game for Mason Curtis. So a smaller lineup that'll push Sean Johnson to the 5. But a small lineup for both sides as the teams are playing their younger players. And it's important to get some younger players minutes in games like this just so they can get a feel for the speed of the varsity game, especially guys who are coming up from the JV level. It is a completely different game. You don't expect it to be that different, but the speed is something that you really do have to play in to get used to. As Maxwell is fouled as he drives and was trying to kick it out to Curtis. He'll go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. That foul is going to go against Anthony Beasley.
And with 2 minutes to go, it's worth noting that the Tigers' next game actually comes tomorrow against Holy Innocents, a team from Atlanta who's supposed to be pretty good, give the Tigers a real challenge tomorrow, but I think they'll be ready to go after this performance tonight.
Yeah, talking to Coach Pearson a little bit before the game, he wasn't looking past this game by any means, but he was certainly excited for the challenge that tomorrow's game could pose for this team that hasn't faced a super major challenge so far. It's a game that you really need to get so that you can be ready for the NBAs and the CPAs later in the season, as the Tigers eclipse the 100-point mark into triple digits, 101-68 now after that layup from Cam Gordon.
And you talk about that winter break, Mark, when they start playing the teams like NBA, CPA, teams like that. Well, it comes sooner than you think. Once Ensworth comes back from winter break, they actually play NBA here at home the Tuesday back, so really quick turnaround for the Tigers. So they're going to have to be ready, and games like these will really help them build that sort of chemistry and quality in their play.
Yeah, and that's I'm not quite sure what happened there. It looked like they were ready to shoot a couple free throws, but they're going to swing it right back to the Tigers after that whistle.
I don't know, did Webb take too long shooting the free throw? I mean, that's the only thing I can really think
It didn't
of,
feel it. I know that number is 8 or 10 seconds, and it certainly didn't feel like he was there for that long. Maybe, actually, you know what it might have been? I think Beasley rotated down into the paint before or after Webb had already gotten the ball. So they had to forfeit those free throws. And on the break, another foul. It will be the 10th against the Cobras in the fourth quarter, so 2 shots coming for Cam Gordon here. The Tigers closing in on yet another dominant victory other than the 5-point win against ECHS 3 games ago as their 3rd game of the season. They've all kind of looked like this. Mentioned it earlier, a massive 75-point win the first game of the year. You had a 40-point game last week. You had 2 20-point games throw in there, and now it's looking like another 35 to 40-point victory coming up here tonight. So this is a Tigers team that has to be feeling confident about that, because it's easy to fall into the trap of playing down to your opponents if it's a team that you know you should beat by a lot. It's easy to let up off the gas a little bit and let them kind of fight their way back into the game. And I believe that's what we saw here in the second quarter, a touch after jumping out to a 23-point lead after 1. But the Tigers showing no signs of letting up now as the clock will continue to run up 36. And with the fourth quarter happening and winding down. So Jordan will take these 2 free throws, and that should probably be the end of it.
And you talked about that 76-point margin victory to open the season. Really impressive, but this is actually the most points they've scored all year. They only put up 102 points in that game now.
Only.
Right. Obviously a more emphatic win on opening night, but obviously a really strong performance here from the Tigers.
Yeah, able to fight back after facing some adversity in the second quarter, where, as we've mentioned a handful of times, maybe let up the gas a little bit, but give credit to the Cobras. They played really aggressive defense. Their trap press was working really well, and the Tigers just had to take a little bit of time to figure out how they wanted to battle that style of defense. Once they figured it out, we saw what we've seen from the Tigers the rest of the season, which is a team that knows who they are. They have a lot of offensive firepower. They like to play fast and run out on the break. And that's what we saw the rest of the game other than those 8 minutes. Zayden Moore is going to take this one across midcourt, and that should just about do it. He could have just dribbled it out, trying to get into the corner for Dylan Curtis. But one more shot at the buzzer. We'll see if they count that. I think it was late, so I don't think it's going up on the scoreboard. But that'll do it. Your final score tonight, another dominant Tiger win, this time by 35 points, 105-70. Dean, any final thoughts?
Well, really strong performance. Like you said, struggled a little bit in that second quarter, but I think they really showed their character in the second half, showing that they weren't going to let Whites Creek get back into this game, and I think it's a sign of things to come this season.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you for those of you who stuck with us till the end of the night. Thank you for joining us on Ensworth Live. For Dean Rolski, I'm Nate